Good evening. Hello, hello. Welcome in. I hope you have had a fantastic day thus far. I am excited to be back with you again on this beautiful Tuesday evening. So tonight I'm going to be talking about leading with care and essentially why it is essential for women in leadership roles to practice self care. So we're going to dive into why self care is important. We're going to talk about different self care practices and some strategies on how you can incorporate self-care into your into your schedule and how you can manage stress and burnout, because that's the whole point, right, of self-care, is to make sure that you don't stress out, burn out, and stay in a place of overwhelm, because that's not good. It's not good for you. It's not good for those people in your life. It's not good for your clients. It's not good for your colleagues or coworkers. It's not good for anyone. So it's really important for you to practice self care. But if you are tuning in with me tonight, say hello, drop me a comment saying hi. Let me know where you're tuning in from, because I like to know who's here. So I like to have a conversation, and so that's what we're going to be doing tonight. For those of you who are new to me and or don't know me well, I am Coach Tressetta Nell Washington, CEO and founder of Profitable Productivity. And what we do is partner with women executives and entrepreneurs to create what I like to call balanced ambition, right? You don't have to choose between being successful in your career and at the expense of your personal life. It is both and. You can have success in both areas, but it comes down to prioritization. And so I take my 25 plus years of experience and bring that to the table to create some really custom strategies, custom blueprints for each one of my clients so that they can be successful. And I integrate both productivity and time management strategies with self-care, so that you are holistically taken care of. All right, now that we've got that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into tonight's topic. So why is self-care important in the first place? Why has self-care become this huge buzzword at as of late, especially like life balance? We've been hearing a lot about self-care, hearing a lot about loving yourself, hearing a lot about work-life balance the last several years, especially since COVID has hit. But what does it really mean? What does self-care even really mean? I'm big on definitions, and self care really refers to taking very deliberate actions to promote and maintain your physical, mental, and emotional well being. So, this can include different activities like making sure you get enough sleep, that you're eating healthy, that you're doing some sort of physical exercise on a regular basis. It could be doing things like practicing some relaxation techniques like meditation or yoga. I don't know how relaxing yoga is, at least not for me. For some people, it is, but for me, it's a little bit stressful. Or even, it could even be seeking therapy or some sort of counseling so that you can ensure that you are well cared for. And self care is really essential for women who are in leadership roles because of the unique challenges that we face in the workplace. Women in leadership often have to deal with a higher level of scrutiny, criticism, and expectations compared to our male counterparts, right? And that alone can lead to much higher levels of stress, anxiety, and then ultimately drive you to a place of burnout. Also, we often face some additional challenges that our male counterpoints don't, like lack of support, There's a ton of gender bias that happens in the workplace. And then, of course, work life balance issues, especially as it relates to responsibilities at home, which we'll get into deeper a little later on in this live stream. But practicing self care really is going to help you to manage your stress levels. It's going to help you to improve your mental and physical health. And not only that, it's going to help you to build some resilience. Um, it's also going to help you to set some boundaries, right? As women, typically as nurturers, tend to do so much for others to our own detriment, and setting boundaries is a way that you can really um, help to manage your stress. Um, Not only that, you need to prioritize your own well-being. And not just for you, but so that you can be a model of what healthy self-care looks like for the people that you lead. And I'm not going to get too much into it in this live stream, but the culture in your office, the culture in your workplace, the culture in your business really can set the tone for what everyone experiences, what the behaviors of those within your organization, because they're going to model what they see leadership do. If it's not healthy, they're going to abandon ship. And we'll talk about that a little later. One thing that I want to point out is that self-care, it's not a luxury, right? A lot of times, self-care is portrayed as like spa days and lavish trips and things of that nature, all this pampering. And while, yes, it's important for you to pamper yourself, this is not a luxury. This is a necessity, especially for women who are in leadership roles. By taking care of yourself, you can perform better in your role. You can overcome challenges. Not only that, but you can inspire others. You can inspire your team members, your colleagues, your employees to do the same thing. And if you don't do that, if you go around neglecting your own self-care, that's just a prescription for stress, health problems, and quite possibly burnout. So, what are some self-care activities? There's a plethora of self-care practices that you can incorporate into your daily routine so that you can improve your physical, mental, and emotional well-being, as well as spiritual well-being, right? I'm just going to share a few common self-care practices that will help you to do just that. Exercise is one. Regular physical activity like jogging, cycling, yoga, walking can help you to reduce stress levels. And not only that, it's going to help to improve your mood because you're going to release those endorphins, the happy hormones in your brain, so that you feel better. And it's going to help to boost your energy levels, right? One of the symptoms of stress and overwhelm or burnout is fatigue, right? So exercising regularly is going to help you to boost your energy. Coupled with that is getting enough sleep, right? You need to make sure that you're getting enough sleep. Sleep is essential for your overall health and well-being. And if you are not getting enough sleep, then you are operating at a sleep deficit, and that can lead to so many different not only the fatigue, the obvious fatigue that goes on, but it can impact your creativity and ability to be innovative. It can affect your mood where you'll be cranky and just not fun to be around. So make sure that you're getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night. Now, how many hours of sleep is really going to depend on you. Kind of monitor your sleep over the period of a week or so and see how much sleep you need in order for you to feel your most energetic self. That could mean, for me, I need 7 hours. I need a solid 7 hours, actually 7.5 hours. I need a solid 7.5 hours for me to wake up and feel refreshed. I can go a little longer than that, especially if I had a really hard or heavy day the day before, or but less than that, it's really going to impact my ability to be focused and productive the next day. Doing meditation is another way that you can include self care into your routine, especially when you start talking about doing mindfulness meditations and deep breathing meditations. They can help to reduce anxiety, it can help to improve your focus. Not only that, it can help to promote this sense of calm in your life, in your mind, because stress makes your mind go haywire, right? Your mind's constant, it's spinning and you're going in all these different directions. Doing meditation, mindfulness, or deep breathing meditations can really help to calm all of that down. Um, Eating healthy, that is a form of self-care, right? Because when you're eating a balanced diet where you have plenty of fruits and vegetables and you're getting your whole grains and lean proteins, you're giving your body the nutrients and energy sources that it needs in order for it to perform at its best. Right. So if you're not eating healthy, if you're not getting your body's not getting the nutrients, then your cells aren't getting the nutrients it needs in order to help you be your best self. So by making sure that you're eating that balanced diet, you're going to be um, taking really good care of your physical health. Introduce some hobbies. That's a form of self care by doing hobbies or any type of activity that you find that brings you joy or relaxes you is going to be a winner. One of mine is dancing, right? I love salsa and bachata. I take bachata lessons. I was taking salsa lessons, but I haven't been in quite some time. That's something that is fun. It brings me joy. And it's a little bit, it's exercise as well. But you might have a hobby like reading, might be something for you, or gardening, painting, whatever it is that brings you joy and helps to reduce your stress levels, which then will help to promote that mental well being so that you can take on the day, right? Also, having some social support. Spend time with your friends. Spend time with your family if they don't stress you out. We all have one or two or more family members that just really kind of grate our nerves. Limit the amount of time you spend with those type of people and pump up the amount of time that you spend with the people who actually support you and help you feel supported and loved and wanted and appreciated, right? Spend time with those people because that's going to help to reduce those feelings of stress. It's going to also help you to not feel so isolated. That's something that can be very challenging for women in leadership, especially executive leadership, because there's so few women in executive leadership, especially C-suite leadership. And that can be very isolating. So making sure that you are spending time with family, friends, or even colleagues that you enjoy their company can help to can be a form of self-care. And then another form of self-care is you may not, this may be surprising to you, but it's to practice time management. Using effective time management practices like prioritizing your task or delegating responsibilities, or I like to say outsourcing, right? You either you can delegate or outsource different tasks. Excuse me. Make sure that you're setting realistic goals. Yes, you want to stretch yourself. You want to set goals that are going to allow you to grow and develop and stretch you, but you don't want to put them so far out of reach that it stresses you out. And not only that, could end up setting yourself up for failure. So, by doing that, by managing your time, planning your week in advance, then you can reduce those stress levels and also increase your productivity. Because when you're not getting things done, when you know you have a ton of things to get done and you're not seeing the progress that you desire, that in and of itself can increase your stress. So manage your time. That's a form of self care. And you can tailor these self care practices to fit your own individual needs and schedules. But by incorporating these type of things into your daily routine, that can help you to prioritize your well being and perform at your best. We want to operate in our peak potential, right? So, real quick, some of the ways that you can incorporate self care into a very busy work schedule is to take breaks. One of my best friends, we have a best friends text chat, and she mentioned that she didn't get a chance to take a break today, that she had a really heavy day, and that she needed to incorporate schedule self care into her day on a daily basis. And what I suggested to her was to take breaks. You would be surprised at just how 5 to 10 minutes stepping away from your work can make a huge difference in your stress levels and your ability to focus, thereby being increasing your productivity. So don't think of taking breaks as, oh my gosh, I'm going to break my flow, or I have so much on my plate to get done. Taking that break can really help to refresh and renew your mind so that you can stay at a place of deep focus on the work that you have before you. So let's talk about, before I get ready to close out, I want to share just a few strategies for managing stress and burnout, right? As a leader, you've got a ton of decisions that you have to make on a day-to-day basis. You might be dealing with different challenging situations. People are coming to you with their issues, with their problems, and you've got to provide guidance and direction and sometimes decisions. And this can really lead to high levels of stress and burnout if you're not practicing adequate self-care or you're not getting adequate support, right? And something that I borrowed from one of my business sisters is your level of self-care must match or exceed your level of stress in order for you to be effective and stave off burnout. So here's just, I've got 5 ways that you can, or a few, 5 ways that stress and burnout can affect you if you're not careful. So it can show up in the way of mental and emotional exhaustion. So you can experience really high, if you're experiencing high levels of stress or potentially burnout, you may feel emotionally drained and then find it difficult for you to concentrate or to make key decisions that you need to make or to make good decisions, right? Because sometimes when we're under pressure and we're stressed in that way, we're not thinking rationally. And so it can really impact our ability to make solid decisions. It can also lead to physical health problems, such as headaches or migraines, digestive issues, right? Ulcers and upset stomach, as well as fatigue. It can also reduce your job satisfaction. Um, Women in leadership roles who experience that high stress on a consistent basis often may deal with feelings of decreased satisfaction with their job, and may even consider leaving the role that they're in because they find it so stressful. Also decreased productivity, which I've already kind of touched on, because it impacts your ability to focus, your ability to concentrate, and or if you're not feeling well, then maybe you're missing work or you're having to take some time off. So it can really impact your productivity if you are not being proactive about implementing self-care into your regular routine so that you avoid getting to the place of burnout in the first place. And then lastly, it can impair your leadership effectiveness, right? So, um, like I mentioned earlier, it can impact your ability to make sound decisions or to manage your team. So it may make it very difficult for you to lead effectively. And overall, stress and burnout can have very significant effects on you in your role. So practicing self-care and seeking some sort of support can help you to prevent or at least manage stress so that you can perform at your best and really lead effectively. Um, and finally, it's important for you to build a support network, right? Having a support network can help you to create that work life balance because you have people that you can kind of blow off some steam with. I am so, I'm so grateful for my besties in our group chat because we get in there. Some days it's quiet. Like today, we were all hard at it. We were going at it, so the chat was quiet. And then there's other days when we're like going at it and laughing and chatting about all kinds of different topics and just really supporting each other throughout the day, even though we're separated by, two of them are in Orlando and then I'm here in Tallahassee. So we've got some miles between us, but there's no distance because of technology, right? There's no distance in between us as far as being able to connect via our, text or phone or whatever. But anyway, having that system of support is crucial because it gives you a place um, of sounding board where you can kind of just release all of the frustration, all of the things that are going on in your head and receive the support that you need, right? But make sure, make sure a caveat here that the people that you choose are people who actually will support you. And you'll start to see as you lean on people you probably already know one one or two people in your circle who you can really count on, and maybe formalize it. If you don't already have a group chat, maybe create one, or talk about formalizing that support system so that you can provide encouragement and offer advice to one another, right? So I hope that these strategies that I've shared with you and some of the impacts that I've shared with you today can help you to prioritize your self care and build that network of support. Now, next week, I will be talking about, oh, shoot, I forgot to look. Let me see. What am I talking about next week? Let me look in my notes real quick and see. What our topic is for next week. Oh, we're going to be talking about next week. I'm going to be talking about breaking the glass ceiling. And this is around kind of gender bias and discrimination in the workplace and how it can really impact your well-being and how it impacts your ability to create work-life balance, and how just really how that plays a role is in some ways that you can overcome that or you can champion that for yourself. So tune in next week. I'll be back at 8:30 Eastern next Tuesday, for us to be talking about breaking the glass ceiling. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week, and I will see you all next week. Bye for now.